Now let us invite our first PAP candidate speaker, Mr. Lee Yi-Shen for East Coast GRC. A big round of applause, please.
Dear Singaporeans, since the nomination day, the opposition parties have made many statements of essentially two themes: wealth redistribution and cost containment. They argue at great lengths, but mostly with flawed logic, how the government ought to further subsidize consumption and provide more freebies. The two themes themselves are important topics, but by not addressing the other major and critical issues Singapore as a country faces, the opposition shows their narrow vision and limited capacity to bring Singapore into the future. The opposition so far have not offered any proposals on how Singapore and Singaporeans' futures are to be secured. They have said little about your jobs, your future, the kind of world you and your children will live in, and how to compete against them. They have given no clue on our national cohesiveness, how it could be strengthened against the threat of terrorism, pandemic flu, extremism, and to stay as a people. In short, they have no blueprint for your future. One of the comments I often receive when I travel overseas was that Singapore is very efficient. Everything works and works promptly. Passengers arriving by air are usually in the cab 20 minutes after touchdown. Traffic flows smoothly. Tap water is portable. Our streets are well lit, and there is a whole host of e-government applications that can do business without you leaving the chair. Visitors love Singapore. They can conduct 5 or 6 meetings in Singapore in a day. Try to do that in other cities like Bangkok or Beijing. It is not possible because of the congestion and the lack of public transport. To make things work, the entire service delivery process must be integrated. For instance, to make water drinkable from every tap sounds simple, but actually it's beyond the execution ability of many cities. You can invest in a most modern water treatment plant, but if you do not have a compatible water distribution system, you cannot deliver clean water safely to the residents at the end of the network. The final quality of the water depends on the weakest link in the distribution system. In recent years, Dubai has distinguished itself as an iconic city of the Middle East. The city skyline is dotted with skyscrapers with the most unusual architecture. The CEO of IMA Group, a leading UAE developer, is a visionary man by the name of Muhammad Alaba. Some of the Singaporeans working for him said that Mr. Alaba talked about the Singapore's admirable qualities with such pride that they as Singaporeans feel overwhelmed. Obviously, Mr. Alaba, who lived in Singapore in the late 80s, had adapted much of Singapore experiences in creating today's modern Dubai. This is also why our government received numerous requests by foreign governments on software transfer, on operating system. Even after we have embarked on Bangalore IT Park, Vietnam Industrial Park and Suzhou Industrial Park some 10 years ago, new requests continue to come in. Today, the government received requests to help many Middle Eastern countries, for instance, to help them modernize not only in terms of hardware, but also in operating system, in developing people, in integrating departments and functions. It is not just economic infrastructure, but also education infrastructure, the culture, the mindset of the people, the entire meritocracy system, and the way we extend opportunities to the young and old, to men and women. This brings me to the point of national reputation. Singapore as a brand name is well regarded internationally. Singapore is synonymous with quality, reliability, and trustworthiness. Whether you travel as individual businesses or representing a multinational as a Singaporean, you are well treated overseas. Once I asked an ex-minister of China how China would overcome some of its key challenges that could disrupt its future growth. For instance, non-performing loans in the banking sector, rich-poor divide, corruption, and environmental pollution. His reply was, these are difficult and intertwined issues, but so long we can create economic progress, we will have the resources to mitigate and solve some of the problems along the way. In the least, society can remain stable with a growing pie. One of the key thrusts of PAP Manifesto is to create opportunities for all Singaporeans. We will do so by upgrading and growing our economy, by remaking our city. We will pursue policies which strengthen confidence. We will create jobs by creating new industries and upgrading existing ones. We will foster entrepreneurship and encourage individuals to pursue their dreams. Finally, let me